I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, as we come to you today, we come with a full faith and knowingness that your presence is the reason for our existence in this physical world. Your word tells us that where two or more gather in your name, you are amongst us. Today, we come before you as representatives of your holy name. For this reason, we are thankful, grateful, and humble. As we collectively embark on a new year, 2026, we thank you for the privilege of serving this community we call home. Grant us wisdom, clarity, and humility in the decisions we make tonight. Guide our decisions so that they are rooted in respect, unity, and a shared desire for the good of Branson and for all who live here and visit here. Bless our leaders, our residents, and those who keep our community safe. May your work be honored and the strength placed upon us and the blessings served to this community. In your holy name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Just for the record, I cleared it with engineering and the building was okay. It wasn't gonna come down.
Wow. So at this time, I would like to ask Jason Wirt, would you come?
Mayor, can we establish a quorum just really quick? Can we do a roll call?
Okay, we can do that. So you want to take, Madam Clerk, would you take the roll call vote?
Would love to. Schultz,
Here.
LeBlanc,
Here.
Denham, Milton,
Here.
Cooper, Howden,
Here.
Lucas.
Here.
Your Honor, you have a quorum.
Okay, now, Jason Wirt, would you come down in front of the dais and meet up with Alderman LeBlanc, please? Some of you know and some of you don't know, there's two things about Jason Wirt today. He has informed us that he is leaving Branson, moving on to what he thinks is greener grass in Nashville, which means he may be back. And, of all things, today is Jason's birthday. Let's all wish Jason a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And I would like to send Jason off with a special commendation award. Jason has served our city for so many years, and there's been so much respect, mutual respect, between a journalist and our city. And I just wanted it to go, did not want it to go unnoticed. So Jason Wirt, in recognition of his outstanding service to our community through journalism, Jason Wirt is commended for his tireless coverage of City Hall and his commitment to keeping our citizens informed. His accurate, timely, and thoughtful reporting promotes transparency, supports public understanding, and helps bridge the gap between local government and his residents it serves. Through his professionalism, dedication, and attention to detail, Jason has consistently delivered meaningful coverage of city initiatives, meetings, and issues of importance to our community. His work plays a vital role in encouraging civic awareness and engagement. The city of Branson is grateful for Jason Wirt's continued dedication to responsible journalism and his positive impact on our community. Jason, why don't you come up here so we can get a photo? Yeah, come up here for a photo, please. Oh. You won't get, I need to be in the picture.
You'll be in the picture.
Okay. Thank you, Jason. Oh, Jason, you want to say a few words?
It's rare that I have to struggle to find words. I've been doing this 40 years. And this is the first time in 40 years I've ever received something like this for the work that I've done. I never expected this. And I've been telling people that I wanted to finish my years in journalism well. And I hope that I had left Branson a little better than when I got here. And I'm glad to see that I did. Thank you.
You did, Jason. Thank you. So, this is the public comment section of our Board of Aldermen meeting. At this time, the board will hear the citizens who have signed up in the order they are listed. Please note, the clerk will let speakers know when we have 30 seconds left, and a notification will sound when their time is up. We ask that speakers wrap up their comments upon hearing the 30-second warning. If a speaker would like the board member to bring down an item from the consent agenda for additional discussion, please note this request during comments. Please come to the freestanding podium to address the board. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers?
We have one speaker, Gabriella Chrisman, speaking on Water Department and Bill.
Gabrielle, I'm sorry, would you come to this?
Oh, come there.
Mike, yes, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you for listening to me. Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
Who represents Murphy Addition here? Do you represent it? Do you represent everybody there or just certain people? That's all I want to ask, yes or no? Okay, thank you for the answer. You heard everybody he does represents. Thank you very much for that answer. Okay, my problem is I live in Ward 1, and I have had nothing but trouble with my water department and stuff. Last year, my pipes broke. Okay, I got them fixed. I got this. This year, I am retired. I'm 80 years old, so I'm not a kid anymore, and I don't have anyone to come and help. That's my problem. That's my fault, okay? But when I get $250 water bill, that I'm one person and one dog, I kind of got shocked. So what do? I go to my water department and I said, listen, I'm having a problem. Can you guys help me? Well, yeah, we can. Okay. I said, I want to know where the leak is. Can you help me find it? So they sent somebody right there by the meter. I guess when they were checking the meter, they must have pushed something, and right beside the meter, because nobody ever gets in there, and I had the piece, and I showed it to them. It wasn't bad. Somebody pushed down on it. The workers, I believe, the plumbers believe, and I do too, they pushed it. They didn't realize it, that they loosened it. So there I got $240 bill. Well, they said they'd help me. So I said, thank you. I appreciate it. I can't afford to give you a lot of money, but I said, just take $50 out of my account because everything is paid through the bank. Okay, so the next month, I got a bill for $400 and some. Now, hon, I'm sorry, but they have to have a little bit of compassion and consideration. Well, we're not shutting you off your water. You cannot send bills like that to old people because who knows? I live on a budget. If you lived on a budget, you would know what the government gives you to live on. By the time you pay your taxes, by the time you buy your groceries, you cannot afford $400 and some. I went down there and they said, okay, well, When we got time, we will fix it. You know what? It's a shock to me. It made me nervous. It upset me and stuff. You think that they don't have time in 2 or 3 months to get the bill straightened out, to see how much I owe them? Because I've got to have the right money so I can live next month. I'm not wealthy like all you guys are. I'm just a person that, worked, pay taxes, and the good Lord has given me whatever they're giving me. And I'm thankful, so don't think that I'm not. But I'm tired of being stepped on. I'm an old lady. I've got people that live up on my block. There's a business up there. There's a Mexican man that has all kinds of trucks. They have ruined my pond. They've ruined my garage. They've ruined everything. I came to the city, asked for help. You know what I got? Shafted. I am tired of city not helping the people. Because I'm an old lady, you think you guys can say, excuse my language, I am upset. You guys are not helping people. You might help certain ones, but you're not helping everybody. And I feel like if you guys, get upset and you want to arrest me, because I'm ready to tell the world what's growing up
30
you guys
seconds.
are doing, or what I feel like you're doing to me. I'm tired of it, and I'm here protesting. And that's what I'm doing.
So
I came protesting to the water department. They send me a giant woman, like an 80-year-old woman is going to beat her up. They're nuts. We got so much laugh at that. Branson is nuts. Not everybody, but there's certain people that don't have any common sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
Obviously, you feel betrayed and taken advantage of,
I feel it. Thank you, sir.
and we hear that. I'm going to have Kathy, would you reach out to her and gather the facts? And we want to treat everybody, every single resident, very fairly. And so your message clearly has not been heard, but it's been heard tonight. Oh, have you talked to Marshall?
I have talked to Marshall many times, and it was like,
Okay.
thank you, Miss Chrisman. That's all I ever get from him.
Typically, Marshall is very, very good with follow-up.
He hasn't been with me.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we heard you loud and clear, and do we have her contact information, Hillary? When she signed up?
I just have her name.
Okay.
You should.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got,
I've
obviously,
lived
we
there
have your
30
account
years.
information, so we will get your contact information from there. But give me a couple days to get to the bottom of it, if I can ask your grace in that. And then we'll get it ironed out, okay?
I do appreciate
Thank you.
a couple of days, but don't take 2 months. If you're going to take 2 months, just tell me to go.
I would never do that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you for coming and sharing. So Hillary, is that all of our speakers?
Yes, sir. We have no more speakers.
Well, so next is the consent agenda. Are there any items that any member of the board or staff would like to have moved down from consent to ask additional questions or make comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please read the items on the consent agenda?
Your Honor, the items on the consent agenda are as follows. Approval of the Board of Aldermen minutes for the December 9th, 2025 study session and December 9th, 2025 regular meeting. Acknowledge receipt of the Planning Commission minutes for the November 4th, 2025 regular meeting. Acknowledge receipt of monthly contract report from December 1st, 2025 to January 4th, 2026. Final reading of Bill Number 6631, an ordinance amending Section 62-46 of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to Advisory Park Board. And final reading of Bill Number 6637, an ordinance amending Section 2-388 of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to records custodian. Your Honor, that concludes the reading of the consent agenda.
Do I have a motion approving all items on the consent?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, provide a roll call vote, please.
Schultz?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Denham?
Yes.
Howden?
Yes.
Lucas? The result of the vote is 5-0. Motion carries. Your Honor, the next item is a multi-departmental update on CitizenServe platform.
Thank you. We'll begin with a report from Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hello. Good evening, Mayor, members of the board, City Administrator Stepp. Thank you for the opportunity to walk you through this evening's agenda. Tonight's presentation represents a significant step forward in the City of Branson's effort to modernize our internal systems, strengthen regulatory consistency, and improve the overall customer experience for residents, businesses, and those who choose to develop in our community. Before I begin, I want to extend a sincere appreciation to our partners at CitizenServe, who have spent hundreds of hours with us reviewing workflows, customizing forms, and tailoring the platform specifically to Branson's needs. Their collaboration and flexibility have been instrumental in ensuring our system is rebuilt the right way from the ground up. Importantly, this entire rebuild process has had no financial impact to the city. While we are exploring a few optional add-ons in the future, those would carry only a minimal financial impact, and we'll bring those forward separately if pursued. Over the past year, staff has been focused on rebuilding foundational processes, notably within permitting and licensing, to address long-standing inefficiencies, improve transparency, and ensure our systems are positioned to support continued growth and compliance. What you will see tonight is a result of cross-departmental coordination, carefully planning, and a deliberate phased approach to implementation. You will hear updates on the permitting rebuild from Nikki Ashmore, City Planner, the upcoming licensing and taxation launch from Finance Director Allison Ramsey, the system enhancements supporting these initiatives from Ryan Till, the Enterprise Programs Implementation Manager, and the community engagement strategies designed to ensure a smooth and informed rollout from Communications Manager Maria Surtek. Each component plays a critical role in creating a more efficient, predictable, and accountable framework for both the city and the public. And before we move into the individual updates, I do want to take a moment to recognize the collective effort behind this work. This has been a significant citywide undertaking that required coordination, patience, and commitment across multiple departments. I want to sincerely thank our staff throughout the organization for their collaboration, problem solving, and willingness to engage in this heavy lift. The progress you will see tonight reflects the dedication and teamwork that has made it possible. And with that, I'll turn over the floor to Nikki Ashmore to give you an update.
Good evening. I don't want to sound repetitive, but I do need to echo our planning director's sentiments and briefly acknowledge the collaborative effort behind this work. This truly was a multi-departmental project supported by administration, our directors, who provided direct access to subject matter experts and plan reviewers that spent countless hours helping build and refine these permits. I also want to recognize Summer Hankins and Reese Pratt with CitizenServe, who worked alongside with staff to identify weaknesses in our existing permit process and develop solutions that are tailored specifically to our needs. Together, we created new processes and functionality that are now being introduced in other cities. Their partnership was instrumental in moving this effort beyond a basic rebuild and towards a more sustainable system. The new building permits went live October 15th, and they represent a foundational milestone in modernizing the city's permitting process. While previous permits served us well, the city grows and code changes. Our applications and processes must evolve as well. This rebuild aligns with the city's updated fee schedule and the ICC building valuation data table. It focuses on creating a system that is accurate, transparent, and reliable for both staff and applicants. We expanded from 11 building permits to 38 clearly defined permits, organized into residential and building commercial subtypes. Each permit was individually built and reviewed against city code requirements and applicable state requirements. Conditional logic was used to align questions and document requirements with actual project conditions, ensuring critical information is collected upfront while eliminating unnecessary or contradictory inputs. In parallel, permit-specific review workflow routes were created to remove unnecessary reviewers and reduce bottlenecks. We also added verification fields, clarified inspection language, updated inspection reports to support partial inspections. Beyond the permits themselves, we've improved GIS coordination, implemented internal notifications for conditional approvals, established standardized review comments, reporting procedures, legacy resources, and a centralized permit repository to support long-term consistency and scalability. All of this has resulted in a leaner, more intentional permitting system that better reflects how the city actually operates. One of the most practical enhancements we implemented was the use of QR codes. We created new building permits and inspection checklists that utilize QR codes, allowing inspectors and project contacts to instantly access permit records and view inspections in real time. This reduces friction in the field, improves accuracy, and ensures consistent access to information exactly where and when needed. These changes are already delivering benefits. We're seeing faster, more predictable inspections, permit processing because applications are clearer and more complete upfront. There's less applicant follow-up, fewer communication gaps between applicants, inspectors, and staff, improved consistency and quality of reviews through standardized applications and internal checklists. Internally, workflows are more efficient and field operations are streamlined. All of this improves transparency, coordination, and overall user experience, resulting in faster, more reliable service delivery. The benefits also extend beyond today's permits. We've developed SOPs and internal review guidance, created system-based legacy data to preserve institutional knowledge, implemented job-specific user roles, license verification fields, conditional approvals, and automated notifications. These improvements ensure long-term continuity, consistency, and defensibility, regardless of staffing changes. This is not a one-time build. It's an evolving system that will continue to be refined based on real-world use, applicant staff feedback, citizen serve enhancements, code requirements, and ongoing departmental integration. Additional permit types, workflows, and fee structures are currently under review. Expanded GIS integration and standardized reporting are underway. Regular permit audits will continue to ensure alignment with municipal code and adopted fees. A detailed review and update of the planning permits are scheduled to begin within the next month or two. With that, I'll turn things over to Allison to walk through the upcoming licensing and taxation module and the benefits that will bring.
Nikki, before you leave, what feedback are you getting from the builders and developers on this?
So right now, more or less the feedback we're getting are from the internal reviewers, because it's the reviewers, when they see the applications, they're looking for any types of inconsistencies, any conflicting data. So the more accurate these applications are, the more accurate the reviews are going to be. So you're seeing less back and forth communication because those answers are being, included up front when people apply for the permit.
So these QR codes are internal?
The QR codes will be on, so we've created a new building permit / inspection checklist. We actually just rolled it out yesterday. It became live. So when a building permit is issued, you're going to get a letter that states, your building permits have been issued. It'll have QR codes with language on how to utilize those QR codes. So they can be utilized by the contractors or our internal inspectors. So those permits will be posted on site at the building, and they can go, or at the job site if the building isn't constructed, let me clarify that. And once they can go on site, they'll take a picture of the QR code and it'll bring them right to the inspection page in the permit. So I know a lot of the contractors don't use computers, so it'll give them easy access through their phone.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Kathy?
Nikki, pardon me. Before we get too far afield on this, I just wanted to give public recognition to you. Not only have you taken the overwhelming majority bulk of this extraordinary project and all of the input that you've been getting from externals, right, that interact with the system, which isn't always rosy, and then administration, right, hounding and being like, when is this going to be ready and what are you doing? In addition to your day job that you've taken this on too, it's really 2 full-time jobs. is really what you've been doing. And the information going in is so critical and crucial to a successful output of a process and output of permits and all the other ramifications that come with that. It has to be perfect, and you have been extraordinary. And thank you from administration, and I'm going to say citywide, because when this really hits, actually, you probably won't hear thank yous from the outside world. That's okay. Not hearing anything is usually good news, right? That it's going well. So I look forward to not hearing much about it from externals and just continuing to see the evolution of this and the progress. Outstanding job, well done.
I appreciate it. We have a wonderful team here in the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks, Nikki, and for all your hard work on this amazing project. So when it comes to licensing and tourism tax, the initiative focuses on streamlining and modernizing the current business licensing submissions and review process across the city. Today, our business owners download a PDF from our website, fill it out, and submit it. Either they come in and submit that, or they submit it through email. And then it's a manual review process, and then it's a manual payment process, and it's not through a workflow. Through integration with CitizenServe, our business owners will be able to submit those forms online, which will then go through an application workflow and review process to get rid of that manual process, and they'll be directly processed all through CitizenServe from the initial application all the way through, with licensing and taxation all being in one screen. As for the launch status, we hope to go live in Q1 of this year with actual go live towards the end of February. This launch will mark a critical transition point to a more modern and efficient process for business licensing across the city. The scope of this project involves reimagining licensing application submission forms with their supportive workflows and how to best integrate taxation collection, which are not an integrated process right now. We have about 15 licensing applications that are being built within CitizenServe. Examples include short-term rentals, business licensing, lodging establishments, and liquor licensing, among many others. We will migrate about 4,000 existing licenses into CitizenServe. And then finally, we'll carefully structure all associated fees on those licenses, so they're just on the user account on the license with all the taxation showing on the license. A major enhancement to this overall process is the introduction of online payment for licensing fees, bonding, tourism tax, and cigarette tax. This is a significant improvement to the current method in place that unlocks benefits to everyone by having these applications online and to be able to pay via credit, debit, or e-check through the CitizenServe platform. We anticipate substantial benefits across the board of this project implementation. Primarily, we expect a major reduction in manual submissions and processing time, not only freeing up staff resources, but also providing the ease of online convenience to our citizens. The system will include systematic notifications, improving communication and compliance with all stakeholders involved, and, of course, the convenience and efficiency of fully integrated online payments with a major win for businesses in the city alike. I will let Amanda kind of touch on licensing and anything she might add to the licensing platform and CitizenServe.
Thank you, Allison. I'd just like to provide the board with some context regarding our licensing operations. For many years here in Branson, they have relied on a fully manual process, which is paper applications, handwritten forms, in-person renewals, phone calls, and a physical filing system, which you can imagine with about 4,000 a year. It gets hard to kind of store that paperwork. So while staff has done an exceptional job managing this workload, the process itself has created insufficiencies, and it's limited the transparency and required significant staff time to track, process, and reconcile thousands of licenses in each year. The new licensing module replaces this approach with a fully digital end-to-end workflow. Even every license type issued by the city will now move through a standardized electronic process that includes online application submission, digital upload of all required documents, automated routing for staff review and approval, online payment and immediate confirmation, electronic issuance of the license, and automated renewal reminders and system-generated reporting. This transition represents a major modernization of Branson licensing operations. It provides transparent, trackable, and customer-focused experience while significantly improving internal efficiency and compliance management. To support all users during this transition, the Planning and Development Department has a customer service terminal in our office. Staff are available to assist anyone who may not have computer access or who needs help navigating our licensing or permitting platform. This ensures that the system remains fully accessible and inclusive for all residents and business owners. And with that, I'll turn this over to Ryan. He has an update on our systematic enhancement.
Thank you and good evening. Extremely excited to talk about the systematic enhancements. So a lot of good work from a permitting licensing perspective. What we'll talk about now are the features that will be unlocked across the platform, regardless of the functionality or the function within. So with that in mind, these updates will improve everything from how citizens interact with the platform and our offered services to how we proactively communicate with them while managing the workload to keep the city and our partners moving forward, all while ensuring continued security every step of the way. So user experience. We will significantly improve the user experience by implementing a modernized interface via a complete portal refresh. We actually just started this last week. Super excited about what this is going to bring. What you can see above is current state versus an example of future state. So somewhat cluttered today, outdated, right? And this will move us to a more intuitive and cleaner system, making it easier for citizens and staff to navigate the platform, find what they're looking for, and really just interact with the system more effectively and efficiently. So super excited about this. Payment processing. So we have already upgraded CitizenServe to leverage the best features that Authorize.net 2.0 unlocks. So these are things like a shopping cart where multiple items can be added to and paid at once, as well as unlocking the feature to make a payment from the individual's home screen. Just things you don't necessarily think about, but just added benefit once they're unlocked, right? From that perspective, right, those upgrades will ensure faster and more secure transactions, ensuring continued trust and efficiency in all financial interactions. Super critical, right? Communication. So likewise, we are launching proactive communication through a new feature in CitizenServe SMS text messaging. So this capability allows for real-time citizen engagement, keeping residents informed of their application status, things like upcoming inspections, actions needed to clear their application, as well as other services instantaneously, right? Now, more importantly, only for those that choose to opt in, right? We know some folks don't want this, right? But it allows us as the city and staff to communicate via various methods, okay? So security, always top priority. I know it is of mine. As a result of that, we did some internal audits, and we are standardizing our internal access across the board using single sign-on, not only for convenience for staff, but also just the added security that brings behind the scenes. Additionally, we are looking at the roles. I know Nikki alluded to this, and we will be implementing permissions from a role-based access control perspective. So this will ensure that our staff only has the access to the modules, application forms, workflows, and functions that they truly require based on their role, okay? And then last but not least, we are focusing heavily on workflow and integration. So I know the planning department is super excited about this one, so we will soon be adding Bluebeam integration. So this unlocks real-time markup and collaborative plan reviews, and quite honestly, kind of brings us up to speed with industry standards. And then likewise, we will continue to promote the platform internally across departments and look for additional opportunities to integrate and truly unlock the potential of the platform, right, for the city as a result of that. So I know a lot going on there, super excited about these and what they bring to the platform as well as our citizens. And with that, I will turn things over to Maria for an update on community engagement. Thank
Excuse
you.
me, Ryan, before you go.
Yes, sir.
We have been talking about this for 4 years. Yeah, and I remember the huge dollar amounts that was presented to us, right, to get to this point. So it's obviously very exciting for many of us to see this 2026 rollout. My question is, and obviously we need to go in this direction. As we do, I want to make sure that our residents, our business owners, builders that are not savvy to this, to computer, even iPhones, right? If they're just in the basics, how are they, we need to make sure that they are not left behind or feel intimidated.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yes, I know Amanda alluded to this. There is a workstation in the planning and development department. So for anybody that runs into that type of scenario, they can come in, they'll have easy access, direct access to staff to walk them through if they do need that additional help.
We need to communicate that
Yeah.
clearly. Oh, that's Maria. Am I getting ahead of myself? Okay, Maria, come share.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Just for the board's information too, Ryan has been a fantastic addition to our administration team. Ryan is our enterprise overseer of all of the projects that overlap many departments and trying to integrate seamlessly. He comes from a very distinguished career with AT&T. He's got extensive project management portfolio of talents that he's been able to bring to Branson and to help us really come into this century. So Ryan, I want to thank you for all the staff that do the work. Like Ryan's working on this, he's working on our other enterprise system as well. So, and as well as CAD RMS for first responders. So we've had a lot of big software and hardware upgrades and initiatives. And Ryan coming into the city at this moment in time has been very, very helpful. So I hear lots of positive feedback, Ryan, from the different staff that have been interacting with you. And thank you on behalf of all of us for providing clarity and direction in sometimes a very foggy, confusing world for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Hey, Maria.
Okay. I know with this board, transparency and public engagement is a priority, so the final pillar to ensure a successful implementation strategy is focused on maximizing community engagement of this update, rebuild, and the new features of Citizen Serve. We know the technology is only as good as its adoption by both internal and the community at large. So to ensure continuous public awareness, we have established a comprehensive communication plan, which will leverage a multi-channel approach using press releases, social posts, and targeted emails to ensure all impacted users are informed and aware of upcoming changes and their benefits. The goal is to provide transparency and ongoing support throughout the transition. Simultaneously, we will actively be bridging the process gap between the old and the new methods of doing things. This will be achieved through a mix of internal and external training sessions to ready both internal staff and our citizens who are going to be using the platform. We will be developing standard operating procedures and create on-demand how-to learning content that will be readily available directly in Citizen Serve to assist our users if they need it. This will ensure everybody has the necessary knowledge and resources to effectively use the updated system and its new features. With that, I want to thank all of you for your time and the opportunity to share this exciting updates tonight. We will now turn it over to the mayor, the Board of Aldermen, and City Administrator Stepp for any questions and comments.
Any members of the board have Ralph?
What a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
You know, 4 or 5 years ago when Citizen Serve was rolled out, I think this is what it was intended to represent, and it was a little clunky on the launch. So to Amanda and your team, thank you so much. But not just that, like every director, like, you know, planning is something that crosses every department within the city, whether they're in this building or outside of this building. But what tonight represents is basically the launch of a very holistic application of this program that's really going to make the efficiencies within this city happen the way it was intended to in the beginning. And, you know, sometimes you put the cart before the horse, but then the right team shows up and they take heed, and that leadership and all of the people fall into place. And this is what we end up with, something that was intended in the beginning, but needed some reworking. And this launch, I think, is going to be that seamless integration of what's going to make it easy to do business in Branson. And I'm, you know, still am waiting to hear those words over and over again. And this is that next step for us. So thank you so much for everything you guys do. Every department head, thank you for your input and your applications to everything, because it's vitally important to this city and the residents of the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. Ruth?
Thank you so much for the presentation this evening. Working with any of the departments in this city, I mean, we not only want transparency outside of this city, but the departments have transparency with each other and the communication with each other, and truly listen to what concerns each department has and works together to come to a solution. Sometimes things take a little bit longer. Sometimes you're spot on quickly. And it's very, very helpful being on the Planning and Zoning Commission. The way our items are presented, and each department that needs to have their input has done that, and everything is so organized when it's presented to us, which allows us to have conversations as a commission and then as a board without having to dig deep to find out the basics, because everything's been so well prepared before our meetings. And I'm going to brag a little bit at the end of the meeting during my comments about our last Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. So I just want to say thank you to each director, and Kathy and Alex, because this is exciting, and I can't wait till it just gets out to the public.
That's great, thank you. Anybody else? Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, are you wanting, this was just a report. Thank you very, very much. I know this was years of hard work. And Ryan, it sounds like you came in at the right time. Welcome aboard.
Your Honor, this is the first reading of Bill number 6638, an ordinance approving an agreement with Sequel Communications LLC, Optimum Business, to provide a dedicated fiber circuit to the Pacific Water Tower.
You've heard the first reading of Bill number 6638. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second, and we'll get a staff report from Chad. Hello, Chad.
Hello, Mayor, members of the board. This agreement is between the City of Branson and Sequel Communications, who is doing business as Optimum, to provide fiber circuit to the Pacific Water Tower for the purpose of providing connectivity that we need for our police dispatch communications. This is part of the larger project to renovate and migrate our police dispatcher over to those operations. More specifically, this circuit will be utilized as one of two redundant circuits to backhaul our radio communications as part of the Motorola project upgrades. The cost is $230 a month or $2,760 annually, so it's very affordable. Staff does recommend, or request, a double read due to the urgency to get this project wrapped up and improve our emergency operations as soon as possible. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Many questions from the board? Any questions from the audience? I'm sorry, would you come up to the microphone, please? So we can all hear you? And we have people online that want to hear you also. It's okay.
Is Optimum the only thing that's available to us? That is the worst company there ever was,
Okay, hold on.
in my opinion,
In your
and 90% of the people that I've spoke to.
Okay, fair enough.
So, yeah, if I may.
Chad?
Yeah, so there are different levels of service with providers. This is a commercial, business grade or commercial grade fiber service, not a residential type service. I understand what you're saying, and I've heard rumblings of that in the community as well, if I'm just being honest, in terms of challenges with that company on the residential side. And we've communicated that to them at times in various meetings. But this is not that. This is a totally different leg of their operations. In addition to that, we have, I mentioned redundancy in this project. And so when you're dealing with 911 communications, we have multiple providers, and this is one of multiple providers to provide that assurance that our operations will stay online. Does that make sense?
It does, but how long will this last? A year? They charge us that $200 and some and then $1,000 and some?
So it's
I mean, is this a contract for a long time? Is this a contract for a year? How long is your contract with Optimum? Because Optimum does not keep their word. I'm sorry.
So yeah, we entered into, I believe it's a 3-year agreement.
I
Sure.
think it should be voted on. If everybody agrees with it, it's fine, but I don't like it personally, and I know that 90% of the people that live here in Branson don't like that either.
Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Real quick, this is budgeted in the police department budget for all of these redundant connections so that we can always maintain 911 communications through that dispatch center. So we actually contract and budget with these various companies, 3 of which throughout the years. And yes, they're in 3-year agreements or whatever. But we always, when we do look at the new contracts and so forth, we definitely want to go for the best technology and the strongest communication. So it's vital that we have the best 911 communication there is so we don't ever not answer calls.
Thank you, Chief. Glenn?
Just bringing that up, wasn't it last year where we had a failure on a triple redundancy issue? Is this related to that?
So this is not directly related to that. This is about radio communications to Moswin. But we are working on improving every day, but specifically what you're referring to in this transition as well. But this is a separate circuit for a separate purpose. Yeah.
And I know there's many different carriers out there, and I would suspect that many on this board have heard complaints about Optima, Verizon, all the different providers. There is a difference between the residential service. We have Optimum also, and I will tell you it's not our favorite. But this being at a business level, and this is really dealing with fiber optic, which is a different division, right? And we have all these different providers. They have to bid for this on 3-year renewals. And so I do trust Chad and our directors when they're going through this bidding process to look after the city the best way they can. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
The result of the vote is 5-0, motion carries.
Your Honor, I move to read Bill number 6638 for its final reading due to timing.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any members of the board wishing to speak regarding this matter? Anyone in the audience? Hearing none, let's vote. We're voting for a second read, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Madam
Thank you
Clerk,
very much.
Didn't get approved yet. You may not want to leave.
That was for the double. I'm going to stand here quietly. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, would you please provide the introduction to this item?
Your Honor, this is the final reading of Bill number 6638, an ordinance approving an agreement with Sequel Communications LLC Optimum Business to provide a dedicated fiber circuit to the Pacific Water Tower.
You've heard the final reading of Bill number 6638. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any members of the board wishing to speak regarding this matter? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak? Madam Clerk, would you now provide a roll call vote for this final read?
Schultz?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Denham?
Yes.
Howden?
Yeah.
Lucas?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5-0, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
Your Honor, the next item is a resolution of the Board of Aldermen consenting to the mayor's appointments to the Board of Directors of the Branson Mills Community Improvement District.
Do I have a motion adopting this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we'll now get a staff report from Hillary.
So previously in 2025, the board approved the petition to establish the Branson Mills Community Improvement District. And within that petition, it allows the mayor to appoint with the consent of the Board of Aldermen. There were 5 positions for their board of directors. There are 3 that are owners' representatives and 2 city representatives. So when the petition was approved, the 3 owner representatives were approved, and it's now time to appoint the city representatives. So the mayor has put forward Kathy Stepp and Alex Gerard, and it will be approved via resolution also per the petition. So that is the item before you, and happy to answer any questions.
Other than Marshall, any members of the board wishing to speak regarding this matter? Marshall, say your piece. Anybody in the audience? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. We are now to the report section of the meeting, and we'll start with Alderman Schultz.
Yes, I too want to congratulate Jason on his new career. When I read his editorial, I was kind of surprised by it, given the long service in this community. But we wish you well, and you're close enough we can stop down and visit you once we hear where your first gig is. So we're looking forward to that. So thanks for that. I can't go without commenting on a number, and I do mean a number of calls that I've gotten from our ward. Alderman Lucas and I have discussed this, and I've discussed this with city staff, but I think it deserves public recognition that there is a very growing concern among the businesses and residents about the homeless population in the downtown area. And we all know there's no easy answers to this. We know there's a lot of issues that have to be dealt with to bring together a complete solution. But we had one of our local businessmen was physically assaulted recently by a homeless person, and that person, I understand, was arrested as a result of that and charged. We've also had inappropriate approaches to female business shop owners offering to escort them to their cars, things like that are totally inappropriate. So I bring this up to awareness to my fellow aldermen that I think we're getting to the point where we're going to have to take yet another look at what do we want to do. I'd really worry that we somehow reach a tipping point here, that it begins to actually impact tourism. If our business owners are already rattled by this whole thing, I got to believe it's not going to be long before it spills over to our tourists. So I don't have the answers. I'm not proposing anything immediately, but we've had some staff discussions on this already, and hopefully collectively we can see a way forward to improve the situation. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Chief Schmidt to come and share with this board what he's felt from the any changes of downtown and what's going on and what his plans are.
You good? All right. So yes, we're well aware of those issues. I'll tell you what I've told you before, you can't legislate your way out of that problem. We do hold them very accountable for any violations that occur down there. But it is not illegal to be homeless. So the problem that we run into is if a normal shopper has the right to be there during business hours and so forth, so do they. So what we focus on are things like Glenn said. If we have any disturbing the peace, any public intoxication, any public use of anything illegal, we can act on that. If they are trespassed from private property, and even our parks for violating our park rules, which has been one of our best tools, then that gives us a criminal violation to act on. merely sitting on a bench. We have advised them they can't take over the whole bench, can't make it their house, they can take one spot. But as long on the sidewalk, as long as wheelchairs can get by and people can walk by, we don't have a criminal violation. So you're right, it is a multifaceted problem. I would love to see some kind of commission or community engagement, and we've mentioned this before, where people can kind of come together and maybe find some ideas. What we see is we do have a perception that we have a lot of homeless in Branson. We have, to my count, around 10 core homeless that have been here for the last few years. We used to have 14. We do offer services, and the ones that will accept our services, we help them out. We've helped 4 get on to different locations in the country and move to better options. And we've had some failures. We've worked with CORE, got a gentleman cleaned up. He even spoke in one of the meetings here. Got him cleaned up, got a job, he got advanced from that job, and then promptly walked away with that advance and was right back out there, and we were dealing with him again. So a lot of this goes deeper into mental health and self-medicating for those issues, and so it is a multifaceted issue that we could really use some assistance on a community-wide aspect. As far as the ones that have caused the issues downtown, they have been what I would classify as transient. Now, most people would say, well, homeless are transient. Again, I have about 10 core homeless in town. The others, every season, we get new ones through. And the ones that we've been having some of the issues with downtown are newer and have not had enough contacts with us where it's become uncomfortable that they've moved on. Usually what we experience is after we've got them into the criminal justice system here in the area a couple, 3 times, then they tend to move on to the next city. So.
Well, you can sign me up for any commission or any activity that we're going to have to try to provide leadership to this. I would say that from a downtown perspective, I'm not speaking of all the other wards, but particularly downtown, you know, it seems that Liberty Plaza seems to be the zenith of problems. And I've even had business owners suggest that maybe it's time to remodel Liberty Plaza to eliminate some of those opportunities, as it were. And so I think we do need to have this broader discussion, and I appreciate what you and your department works on for that. I'm not criticizing that at all, but I think we've got to try to find the next steps in this formula to bring some of this to resolution.
And I very much agree. And CPTED, which is crime prevention through environmental design, is a huge piece, and we do have a lieutenant, Waymire, that is certified in that. And in fact, we have made recommendations on the 76 project for exactly that reason. That we're more than willing to work with you. We do ask for just understanding of our officers when we show up and there's a feeling that we're not doing anything. We are constricted by the laws and the statutes, and so if we can enforce, absolutely we will. If not, then we're trying to offer help and assistance. Some people don't want it, unfortunately, and we get in that situation where we have to wait for the violation before we can actually force the issue.
Kathy, would you help me form a local committee to address this?
Of course, Mayor. I would say too, it is such a bigger discussion, and there's constitutional protections that people have that goes much bigger than even the state of Missouri. It's obviously the U.S. Constitution, case law that we, rely upon as well as far as decision-making. And then, of course, we're a fourth-class city. So we really don't have a lot of elbow room when it comes to making up our own rules for Branson. We're pretty constricted, very tightly. So, but it's certainly a conversation that if you'd like to have a public meeting, we can certainly put the pieces together to make that happen.
And Kathy does bring up a good point. One of the main issues that's happened over the last decade is that we have, the U.S. Supreme Court has struck down loitering and holding signs, things like that, as free speech and completely allowed. So those tools that we used to have are no longer with the police department. So it's not that we don't want to do anything, but we don't want to incur liability on the city's part either. So they're very well trained on what they can and can't do. Seriously, the answer is in some form of community support for mental health and substance abuse and things along those lines. Right now, I just haven't seen everybody come together with that one focus.
The good news is that, you know, our foundations in the community are definitely supporting those types of organizations, mental health, drug rehabilitation, and so on, alcoholism recovery, all those. So there's literally millions of dollars annually now being poured into those organizations. And we know those are underlying causes, and we've definitely got to tap into that. But I still think there's more that we as a city are capable of doing to address some of our very specific idiosyncrasies of the homeless issues that would help us along as well as part of that overall formula.
Chief, we did have a few businesses on 76 reach out to us a few years ago. And through your support, in fact, probably some of your ideas, we were able to tackle some of that was going on.
Yes, and unfortunately, I hate to make it this way, that was an easier situation because that was a group that came in that was very quickly on breaking the law. And so we were able to really do a zero tolerance and make a focused approach, and again, get them into the criminal justice system real quick, and it becomes uncomfortable to be there, then they move on. The ones that we continue to have these issues with know kind of what the laws are and where they can go and where they can't go, and they do step over every so often, but it's the ones that they have a mental health issue, but it's not enough that we can do a mandatory hold on. So now when we talk about mental health hold, you're talking about voluntary, and we got to find that way to get them to want that assistance. And therein lies the crux. If you get the golden answer to that, please let me know, because that would solve a large amount of my call load.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Ralph?
Just to bring a little sunshine to the situation. But, you know, I think what we did for panhandling was just kind of part and parcel, a very proactive approach to handling a situation that in the past had been kind of run amok, out of control. But, you know, here we are a couple, 2 or 3 years later, and, you know, with signage and really getting with property owners and having them, you know, kind of enforce the trespassing issues and things like that, we've been able to curtail a lot of that. And I think there's something to learn in that we could probably take some of those same, you know, caveats and apply it to this, because it is a different situation. But, you know, to say that nothing has been done, I think we've, you know, made great strides from a panhandling standpoint, and that's been very, very good for the community also. And I know that was a big issue that a lot of people had. So anyway, thank you, Chief. My report, Happy New Year, 2026. Jason, you know, a little over 4 years ago, after I was elected, you know, we had a conversation, and you know, one of the things we talked about was communication transparency, and that was something that had been lacking, your ability to kind of tell the story of our community and of this board and things like that. And I would hope that these last 4 years have been a different complexion of that for you, because it has been good for this board to not only have you write the truth, but even call us on things when things weren't exactly, you know, the way they should have been and things like that, or at least call it to our attention. You've been really great about that, and I just want to applaud you. You know, the city is losing a great asset. I mean, you know, and if you do come back, we'll welcome you with open arms. So thank you so much for everything you've done. As far as the rest of the story, you know, 2026 is looking to be a great year for this community. 2025, we closed out with a bang with the improvement downtown, and just the glowing remarks from visitors of how cool downtown looked. I had a lot of clients that come in from out of town, and they made a particular point to tell me how good downtown looked, and I was very proud, you know, to say that I was part of the board that made all that happen. And just all over the community, and with our infrastructure improvements that are going to be kicking off. I mean, you know, 2026 is starting out with a lot of momentum, and we're looking forward to the rest of the year. So thank you, leadership and staff, for all that you've done to put those things in place, and let's go to work.
Okay, Ruth?
Happy 2026 to everybody as well. And Jason, I just want to say thank you, because One thing you are is you're honest, you're upfront, and you show compassion to others as well, even if you don't agree with how they believe. So I just want to say thank you, and I wish you the best, and we're going to come watch you rock out, so you have to let us know where you're at. I just wanted to give an example for when Chief just spoke. Many moons ago in planning and zoning, a special use permit used to be required for group homes, rehab homes, so at least the community was aware of the addresses, you know, where it was going to be located in a residential neighborhood. But federal regulations, you know, put an end to that with the mental health, and so group homes could locate wherever they want to, and it is very difficult, and the homeless issue is a very difficult problem that not just us, all communities in this country are facing, but it goes pretty deep. So hats off to whoever can come up with the golden answer for the chief. And I just want to brag on our planning development department. Last Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, there was a request for preliminary plan development, and that will come to the next board meeting. However, there was also a request for a special use permit, and the special use permits only go to the Planning and Zoning Commission, so there's not really, I mean, you can tear it apart at the Board of Aldermen meeting and the next time, request amendments, and I saw a group of people, the commissioners, staff, and the applicant work so hard together, and then hats off to Attorney Dustin, because he was asked, you know, to make some amendments on the fly. We took a break, but everybody was considered, and the communication that took place, the conversation that took place, so that it was a win-win answer for everybody involved. I just want to say thank you for the patience at that meeting. I'm glad for our applicant, and our Planning and Zoning Commission is an amazing board, and they work so well together. So I see so many wonderful things taking place in this city. I'm very, very proud to serve and just to honor the leadership here at the city. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruth. Marshall?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, I've watched aldermen function in their roles for a couple decades now from many different vantage points, both sitting at this dais and out there in the audience. And you would be hard-pressed to find anyone with more commitment to the residents of this community than Ralph LeBlanc. First and foremost, Ralph knows everybody. The amount of citizen feedback that is relayed to him in his role as alderman through his office is second to none. And that feedback has been invaluable to every single one of us. But even more than that, it's his outside-the-box ideas that led us to completing the Branson Police Station in just a couple of years as opposed to 7, with more than double the space and a fraction of the budget it would have taken to build a brand new station. When we're pressed on issues, Ralph is usually the one to respond with pinpoint accuracy. And that's because he cares deeply about protecting the amazing reputations of our city staff. Not just because he can, but because, as he once told me, we have put this group through the refiner's fire, and only the best of the best made it through. When I caught wind that someone had been recruited by the Branson establishment to run against Ralph, I felt a calling to stand up and campaign for this man myself. Because I can tell you, there has not been one decision in his entire tenure as alderman that he has made based on politics. And at the end of the day, I will work just as diligently to see him reelected as I work to earn the trust of the voters myself, because I believe that strongly in his character, judgment, and his deep, abiding commitment to Branson. Ralph LeBlanc represents the very best of public service on this board, and I am proud to stand with him and endorse his reelection. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. Artie? Artie, please push your button so everybody can hear.
I hope you all had a great Christmas. I know I did. It was a gas hanging out with my 8 grandkids in Kansas City, losing some more hair, picking up some more bruises, but it was still fun. Happy 2026. You know, this is going to be such an awesome year in Branson with the 250th year celebration of our country's birth, that we have all the things that we've got going on in our city coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And I anticipate we will have a great many people coming to our community to help celebrate it with us. It's awesome to have Larry back. Good to see him up here on the Diaz. Good to see Ira and Marie back. Marie's almost back to fighting weight, but not quite yet. Good to see you guys. It was a real thrill to be a part of the Good Morning America show that we had here downtown. And I also want you to know I'm not giving out any autographs. Although I've heard from people all over the country that they saw me on TV. Wasn't planned, but it was still fun. Football season's over. The Chiefs are out of it, so season's over. I don't care who goes to the Super Bowl. I'm not interested. Jason, you've been a hoot, man. Just don't forget all us little people when you get rich and famous. Miss you, bud. Lots of neat things coming down the pike this year here in Branson. I know it's going to keep each and every one of us on our toes. It is an election year, and we're hopeful that we can have the same board up here this year that we have this year, -1. Chicken. But no, look forward to working with all the staff and administration and with Larry and getting a lot of things done for the city.
Thank you, Artie. Kathy?
I don't know how I follow that, frankly. That was asked by Alderman LeBlanc for the record. I too, of course, need to chime in about Jason. I don't know if you're expecting a real gushing love fest here tonight or not, but it's what you're getting, whether you like it or you're comfortable with it or not. Jason, I've had lots and lots of dealings with media in my professional life. And when you and I very first met, the one thing I said to you, I was very guarded, right? Because I had been really through the meat grinder in my life with media. And so I was very not trusting in the beginning. And the one thing that you said to me that I'll always remember is like, you're not always going to like what I write, but I'm always going to be fair. And I'll always give you the opportunity to tell me your side. And you have kept that promise to me. And that is a rare thing indeed in your profession. So I just want to thank you for the professionalism that you showed me. I want to wish you the best of success in your Neil Peart wannabe era, right? For those of you who don't know Rush, Google it. And that you're still going to have lots of time and get to see your sweet Eli. So please, to both your boys and to you, I wish you all the best and congratulations again to you. And happy birthday. Was it 40 that you turned tonight? I think so. You just cover me when I need cover on that one coming up. The other thing I just wanted to share with everybody, first of all, Copeland's, welcome back. Goodness gracious, where have you been? And it's just like, it's not a normal board meeting if I don't look out and see Ira and Marie in the audience. So we're just delighted to have you back. And I hope everybody's feeling better and still lots of vim and vinegar in there. Shoulder surgery, bless your heart. So that's a tough one. So God bless you. I'm glad to see you here this evening. And then my last announcement is just to share a note of sadness, which is Gary Groman from the Branson Globe. His sweet wife of well over 50 years, Lois, passed away today. And Lois had been suffering for a bit of time with Alzheimer's and related illnesses that go with all of that. And Gary, God bless you. And I know that your sweet Lois is safely in the arms of the Lord where she belongs. And this will be, I'm sure, a very challenging and difficult time for him as he was the primary caregiver for these many, many months. And he ain't no spring chicken. And he wouldn't mind my acknowledging that, I know. And so blessings to him. And if you all feel so inclined to reach out with your condolences, I'm sure he'd be greatly appreciative of that. So blessings to you. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kathy. Jason, couple things. I believe you gave Kathy the same promise that you gave me. And I will too acknowledge that you've lived up to it, and I appreciate that. I would also be remiss if I didn't share with you that the call I had to give you some acknowledgement tonight was from Gary Groman. And I'm going to talk out of school. Gary said it's too late for Gary to be up watching. Talking out of school, Gary Groman said, "You know what, Mayor? I'm going to miss Jason." So there you go. 2 reporters, competing papers, a lot of respect for each other. Quick update on me, I get asked all the time. I've started my outpatient rehab. Things are going well. I believe I'm getting better every week and plan on continuing. Boy, talk about ending 2025 with a springboard into 2026. Two shows acknowledging Branson on a national scale, right? Oh, well, it's written down here. Actually, what it says is, it says, national TV, on Fox and Friends, Kathy did an excellent job. That's what my notes say. And I'm to give a special thanks to Heather, who did excellent, and to Brad Thomas. It's great to be partnering up with Brad. Not as good as Kathy. Actually, Brad did great. But Good Morning America wasn't, the Today Show and Fox and Friends, that's pretty strong. I was really proud of that. Many of you know that there's a movie being filmed in Branson, and I know they're doing some casting right now. I don't mean to sound bragging, but I have been casted in a role in the movie, and I get to be the mayor. What? So I've been studying for my character role, and I believe I'm going to have one line. I know, how exciting is that? Attended the Chamber black tie. I'll tell you, the black tie over the last few years has really been getting better and better. And I'll tell you, our chamber and this board are so much hand in hand, right? They've really adopted and embraced faith, family, flag, for sure. So I know when we rattle off our successes in 25, it will sound exhaustive, as it has in the previous years. I'm just so excited about what 2026 has in store for us. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.